So while you're working on these eyes and you're kind of in love with them and you have them exactly the way you want, I'm going to tell you to do something that's going to mess them up a little bit. So maybe do it before they're 100% perfect. What you need to do is right now they look like they can't see, right? And I like to carve them out. If you think back on the presentation I showed you of different eyes, most of them the iris itself is carved. The iris is the blue, green, gray, brown part of your eye. Right? So the way I do it is I take a small dowel rod and I insert it and I go out at an angle. See how it's not straight? I go out at an angle and I push in and then I move it to the left and I reinsert it and push again. That is so that it looks like a larger hole. All right? If I got a dowel rod big enough to be as big as the actual iris would be, you'd be carving out the eyelid. And we don't want to do that, right? So I go slightly to the right and slightly to the left because you want to give an illusion that that circle goes under the eyelids. When your eye is relaxed, that your top eyelid actually covers quite a bit of your iris. The bottom, it kind of just rests right at the bottom, right? So if you I'll draw it on here. If you think of a regular eye here, right? The iris is perfectly round. It actually goes under the top lid a little bit and just touches the bottom lid down here. So to give that illusion, I use a smaller dowel rod. I push it to the left and push it to the right, but I try and make it look like it lines up with the bottom of the eyelid, or the bottom eyelid. So then I come into the other eye, I repeat it, and you want to try and look at it pretty straight on and see if the eyes look like they're looking the same direction. Sometimes you make one a little big, sometimes you got to squish it up, squish it in. This eye I need to add a little bit more of an eyelid on the bottom. Okay, but once I have that established and they look like they're both looking more or less the same direction, right? One's not looking to the left and the other looking straight ahead or something. Once I have that and I'm ready to make a pupil, I can take a pencil, stick it straight in and wiggle it, and it makes the darker portion of the pupil. The deeper you push the dowel rod in, the darker the eyes will appear. So if your person has really dark eyes, super dark brown eyes, you might want to push it in further. If they have a lighter, like a light blue, you don't have to push it as far. And the other thing you can do is, carve in the edges a little bit too. This is just the simplest, quickest way to get an eye that looks like it's actually looking at something. And once you do that, every time you look at it, it will actually look like it's looking at you. Okay? So you guys see how to do that? So make sure you're getting that and getting that added as well.